time we should start. It's five
Okay,
to.
right.
Okay, guys. So everybody who's here, welcome. Today's session is very, very special to us because I don't know if you guys have been following us, but there's been a lot of conversation that we are having with. I'm getting so many calls from parents and from other people who are very perplexed about what is it that a child can do if they're doing science subjects and if they don't want to leave schools, go into dummy schools, get into coaching, all of that. What I've also noticed is that because this is also the time, the last 2 months, when we were doing subject counselings, and so many kids were choosing to go out of science, not because they didn't like science, but because they did not want, they didn't know of enough things they could do with science, right? It seemed like a very limiting path. While on the other hand, I think as counselors, when we are talking to universities, we are seeing, talking to industry, it's very evident that there is a huge revolution. There's a great place for science and tech and lots of new careers, evolving stuff that's coming up. And literally, sky is the limit in the area of science, tech, math, all of that, computer science, you name it. So today I have with me two very special people. I attended a session last month. I'm telling you very honestly, without trying to brag, it's very rare these days that you come back from a session think, oh, that one was worth it. It was enjoyable and I learned. This was one of them. And when I attended it, I said, okay, we need to, and Ramya and I spoke about it. And Ramya, I think, has done a similar session last year in another conference. So it was something that we both agreed that we need to put up in front of you. I'll introduce both the speakers today. So Nitina Dua is a career coach. She heads the career guidance. She headed the career guidance center at Shivnada School for around 13 years and is now the executive head for career guidance for all of Shivnada's schools across the country. I think that's a formal introduction. For me, Nitina is more a voice of sanity in this space. Is becoming really loud and very commercial. I think Nitina is really a voice of sanity there. Somebody that I learned a lot from when I joined this community about 8 years back. I know I was like, Nitina ma'am, teach me. And her name is still saved as ma'am in my computer, in my phone actually. So it's Nitina ma'am still. So that's Nitina. And then Vikram, of course, Vikram also, I've met him many years back. He's the director of outreach at Plaksha University, a spirited communications professional with proven expertise in university outreach. Again, that's just the commercial, the corporate version of it. I think Vikram has been at some of the most selective and new age universities in India. He led ISTI outreach, the Kriya outreach, the Ahmedabad outreach, all of that. Uh, but I think what I really have realized about Vikram in the last 2 years is he's somebody who cares about impact, uh, impact for students beyond what his job role requires him to. So, one of the few outreach university people who don't only care about admissions and filling whatever the seats, but really care about fitting the right people, giving them the right information, making larger impact. So you can see we are both Ramya and we are very fond of these two. So we hand it over to them now. Over to you, Nitina and Vikram.
Thank you, Sapna. I mean, that's really, really lovely of you too. In fact, just to the parents who've joined, this is
Yeah,
only
maybe
out
you can
of
start
the
sharing.
sheer love that we have, in the community for one another. I think just want to create a ripple effect of what Ramya and Sapna have put together through Guiding Teens. And thank you, Krishna, for being here too. He's an alumni of Shiv Nada School who's helped me put this piece together with Vikram and I, and Krishna has just put it together. So he'll also be here,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
taking us along through this. So yes, just setting the context before I also invite Vikram to take this ahead. This is we are, if you just look at the past 2 months, how it has been for a student who is thinking about getting out of school education and looking at the next step. I needn't say anything much. You all know as parents what's around there. So setting the context is, I don't know how much trusting the process now is left really there. It's about you as parents taking charge along with your child with true intent, which is always there, but understanding that there's a larger vision of the content as well. It's not only what's out there, but what's not even read and spoken about. And that's the whole idea today that Vikram and I are bringing together for you. So we'll also have a lot of interaction. So please, the more you'll interact, the better learning. We'll also be giving you a lot of resources today as parents, and we can promise you that the next 45 to 50 minutes that you spend with us, there'll be a lot of takeaways for you to at least sit down and spend the next 2-3 months researching around it. So that's what we've put together. Vikram?
I think
Uh,
we can go ahead. And I do want to talk about a little bit about what Sapna mentioned. What pains me is this singular approach of these exams in India. And what we've seen, I mean, day before yesterday, I got to know of NEET exam being cancelled, and just it broke me to having thought of 2.5 million students who waited for years and years to write an exam, and the kind of pressure that both the students and parents must have gone through, and to know the fact that 99% of them were very singularly focused on just one exam and had no plan B and no backups or awareness of what backups exist, or what's happening in the field or what's happening around in the field of medicine, engineering, science, that pains me even more, right? And that's why this session is happening. And like I think Nitina said, we will take you through all of this so you'll be able to clearly visualize how careers are evolving across the world. We're also going to talk about some Indian options that you have, universities, programs. Um, we also want to specifically focus on this framework of moving from, traditionally how parents and students think, right? I mean, it's about subject selection in grade 10th, and you select PCM if you want to do engineering, and then after the subject selection comes a degree, which is engineering or BTech. After the degree comes a job. I mean, that's the linear path that generally picked. We want to move that a little bit from problems to pathways, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we can go ahead, I think, Nitina. Let's move forward. So this is the one that I already spoke about, right? I mean, problems don't belong to one subject. Generally, if you look at any large problems in the world, they are solved through multiple disciplines. NEP is talking about it, universities are talking about it, schools are talking about it. I think it's high time we focus on, not just focusing on one subject or one degree, but about solving problems that might require multiple perspectives to solve that. But I think we can again go ahead through this slide. Um, yeah. So this, Nitina, do you want to take this up?
yeah. So, Krishna, next slide, please. I mean, just look at a life of a high school student. When the child thinks about a career today, they also think about there are actually two parallel worlds. One is a world that happens in school, another is a world which is called really planning the exit plan. And there where if the approach is and the environment conditions the child to think that look at school, coaching, exam, the exploration component gets to completely not really there. And then the students really get into this whole pressure of getting into 11th and 12th, of course. And it's also a great idea. I wouldn't say it isn't a great idea to not go in, experience what the competitive space looks like for them when they're writing these competitive exams. But it would not be a great idea to not have a plan B and a strategy to say that if that doesn't happen to me, what is my other plan that I can really follow? So many students never even see that pathway. Why? Because they never, they understand they have to move from a point A to a point B, but how do they navigate that is something that will take you through this. And the whole idea about why this intent of putting this together is the fact that if A doesn't happen, the B is also going to really give them that exposure and get them to a path that they'll really enjoy doing. And that's what the world also really needs today. Krishna, can we move to the next, please? As Vikram and Sapna both mentioned about, the first point today, our students make a choice. And life for a high school student is a lot about choices and habits. And I think if parents are listening to us, I would say that fundamentally, if you've gotten their habits correct and their choices fine-tuned in the way they should be really thinking, then the choice of subjects could be looked at. If I would like to give a counselor's perspective here, and Vikram could give the university perspective, is you have to keep the eligibility component in mind. With the way India is and how the landscape is really changing, please keep in mind the subjects that you're opting. Do not let the child miss out on the eligibility. But that doesn't mean that the other options are still not discussed or talked about. Of course, coaching starts, they put that on. And if we really take a guess of the number of entrance exams that a child takes from January to April, any grade 12 kid today in the country would take around 10 to 12 entrance exams beyond the school examinations, which is a lot. And then their whole model, compass of success is how much have I really cracked the big exam or not cracked it? And I don't think that compass should move a little bit from there. Next, please. Vikram.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, right? I mean, can parents actually use the chat box to tell us how many of your kids do take science or have picked courses in science in grade 11th and 12th? Are there people who have taken science? Can you use the chat box to tell us which subjects your kids have? What are they studying? What are they thinking about? Is the chat open, Sapna, for everyone? Okay, I can see some. Okay. Uh, yes, biochemistry and mathematics. Okay. They're a very unusual combination, huh? By the way, biochem and math. So great. We already have someone who has this combination. Uh, let's look at the others. But okay, so we'll move. I think Krishna, we can go back to the
Sure.
yeah. So typically we see that, in India, kids who pick science or students who pick science, generally about 83% of them write some of the other competitive exams. JEE is an exam that is taken in India for engineering, and nearly 1.4 million students write the exam, right? And if you think of how many of them actually get into IITs, that percentage is 1.2%, right? I want again the parents to guess, saying how many IITs exist in India. Does anybody know the number? Let's maybe use the chat to tell us how many IITs exist in India and how many seats do they offer. Let's take that very quickly. Let's see how many of you know that. Gaurav says 17. Okay. It's not 17, it's a little bit more than that, Gaurav. And I don't want you to Google, right, others. So India has, of course, just in the interest of time, we have 23 IITs, right? And these 23 IITs offer roughly about 17, 18,000 seats, right? And they offer these 17, 18,000 seats in various disciplines. I'm, told they still offer courses like marine engineering, or you have, courses in textile engineering, and many other disciplines, right? But out of the 1.4 million engineers, 1% get into IIT. And this includes people who would do, say, for example, bachelor's of science in agriculture, for example, right? And most of like I was fortunate to have visited many IITs and I've spoken to professors there. This is an example of IIT Ropar, where, a very senior professor says that except computer science and electrical engineering, the attendance is less than 20%. And this is the most prestigious colleges that we're talking about in India, right? When it comes to medicine, it's even worse, because almost 2.5, 2.6 million students write the exam, less than 1% get into AIMS, 6% get government seats. And all of you know that when it comes to private education, a semi-government seat will also cost you at least 1 crore rupee when it comes to a medical program. And the quality of program, all of us know, right, of what happens. So this is the reality that we're up against. And, this is why the kids who really are, good at it or have passion sometimes cannot write these exams or top it, right? And the kids who are thinking about science in India, who are from these international boards or people who are not writing these competitive exams don't consider India at all as an option because India does not have space for them, right? That's the reality. Let's go to the next one. Next slide. I think we'll skip this because we are, we have a lot of other exercises that we wanted to do. So we'll skip this part, Krishna. This is where the problem is. I've met thousands of students who are looking at science and medicine in India or engineering in India, and most of them, when you ask them to say, "What is your plan B? What is your plan?" In fact, once I was talking to Nitina, she said we have a plan D, right? So I think how many of you have a plan B, C, and D? Most of these kids, because of the ecosystem that they're in, they prepare for JEE or they prepare for NEET. The only realization comes is when you get your scores, and that is too late already. JEE main one happens in January, and January is a very stressful time for a grade 12 student. You've got 75, 80, 85 percentile. Suddenly, that your dream is shattered because your coaching centers told you that you're going to crack an IIT. Your mama chacha is only trying to tell you that, this kid who went to IIT is a big success. And suddenly it comes crashing to say, okay, what do I do now? And that's also the time when somebody is writing the board exams, right? And then comes mains two, which is another blow. And then kids start thinking about what to do now, what's the career, and then they end up into colleges and careers that they might not be suited for, right? So I think it's important to think of this. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, please, Krishna. So I'll quickly cover this macro trends, Nitina, and please jump in whenever, and then we go into the activity. See, many speakers who must have come to this series with Sapna and both Ramya might have invited, a lot of them are talking about interdisciplinarity, about a changing world. But there are really three trends that are driving this change, this massive change in the world, right? Let's go to the first one. So the first one basically is that tech is impacting everything that we do, every industry around us. Krishna, the next slide. So tech is horizontal. A lot of the times we said, okay, engineering is about software or is there an
Just
issue?
a second, Vikram. So sorry, it's not
Okay.
changing. I don't know why.
No worries. We can take time. So the first trend basically is that tech is horizontal and AI is impacting all of our lives. Whether you look at diagnostics or therapeutics, fields in biotechnology, in agriculture, if you think about roles in, sustainability, any field that you look at it now, mobility, EVs, any industry you see, AI is playing a huge role, right? A lot of the jobs are being automated. You now have agentic AI that can actually create a to-do list for you, complete those tasks. So that's the macro trend number one, right? The second big trend is that, problems are complex. Anything that you see around us, I don't know how many of you are from Delhi NCR, but at least I live in Delhi, and almost 4 or 5 months of the year we can't breathe. It's really, really bad, right? And that's a big problem, right? But when you think of the problem of pollution, we mostly think about just, penalizing the farmers or say, let's do odd even, those are the kind of solutions that generally come up. But look at the number of courses that are required to be studied or number of different people that have come together to solve a problem like, pollution, right? So that's the big trend. Water, energy, health, any big problem you see in the world will require multiple disciplines to come together, right? And next, here go the next slide. And third is careers are non-linear. And I really would like to bring in Nitina here because she trains so many students in this non-linear career paths.
Thank you, Vikram. And, Vesta, just a question that I like to ask parents is that how many careers do you think the generation that your kids who are in high school right now, how many career shifts do you think they'll make? Just give me any number. Any number you could write in the chat. Will they make a shift of 2 careers? Several. Give me a number. I know several careers, of course they will. Also, it's a restless generation that we're dealing with, right? But just a tentative number. What do you think? They will. And you remember our time when our parents used to say, let's say just a ladder to success. You join at one career, you join at one position, and then you move to like becoming the manager, assistant general manager, and then the CEO, and then director, whatever, and you leave. So it's just one. Actually, data says and research says this generation is going to make a shift of 7 careers, not 7 jobs. When you talk about 7 careers, that means that what they study in school and college is not going to be, I don't know how much relevant. But you must, as parents, think that what they're going to study in school, what skills are they picking up from each subject that they picked up to study? If someone picked up biology, do they understand that biology beyond doctor, what are the other, and what kind of skills are really required to become a doctor? But if I don't become a doctor, and if I want to consider a skill, a field like the nutraceuticals or something else, what kind of skills are required for that? It is the skills that are going to have a huge interplay with the subjects that the children are studying. So it's going to be a shift of 7 careers, my parents. It's not going to be a shift of 7 jobs. 7 jobs or 2 jobs or 3 jobs. 7 careers is huge. So you have to focus, that is my child. So don't use the terminology of ladder. It's loop, leap, and lattice. Loop means lifelong learning. Whatever may be, you have to be adaptable. If you've joined at one particular field, you just keep building experience in that and then keep changing direction. That's the loop. Leap is you have the courage to change. So suppose if you've studied engineering and you think you want to join, management at some point, and you've switched the stream completely, that's leap. You have the courage to change. And lat is an absolutely non-linear path, which is like, move across domains, combine multiple. Suppose today is an architect and who studied architecture but is looking at building smart cities. So he also has to understand the psychology of the client very well to ensure that what is a requirement that he has an architect, that he has to really make his house in that certain way. So please, the new term that you all should take back from today's session is loop, leap, and lattice. And this generation is going to make a shift of 7 careers. Krishna, next slide.
The gig economy, right? How you say the gig economy, that you're not going to have
Yeah,
full
of
job.
course. Yeah. Also, the gig economy, where I keep saying this in all my parent orientations at school, whenever I used to do it, I used to say that, this generation is actually can do 3 careers in a week. You could have like a banker in the morning, a musician in the evening, and a bartender over the weekend. And they can manage that all. They are not going to be really looking at a 9 to 5 job that, like you and I, very comfortably do a biometric at work and come back. And we are very happy that we've made peace with what we have. And exceptionally, we're okay with it. So this generation is very, they're worried about the way they're perceived. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Our time used to work for, what you call as, food, shelter. So this generation hasn't even actually reached the self-actualization, but is somewhere in between. So as parents, you have a very, very important role to do. So please look at this as you doing a session. Put yourself as a student today and see that, am I thinking in the sense of a loop, leap, or lattice, or am I still thinking engineering करेंगे या डॉक्टर बनेंगे और किसी जगह पे कुछ करके कर लेंगे? Or am I thinking, okay, if they become an engineer, what more can they do from there? So over to you, Vikram.
Yeah, I think we have a very interesting activity where we want you to sort of think a little bit more deeper and give us answers. And we want a promise from all of you that no chat GPTs will happen and no
I can
Gemini.
just jump in, Vikram. Please turn on your cameras if you're able to, because the activity is always better when we can see everyone's faces.
So this is just the framework because we did this when what Sapna was telling in person. So this is the framework where we gave to everybody who was in the room. We've just put this together that you can click a picture of this and do it at home. But we've put a Mentimeter model so that we can see your answers right away. But we'll give you so we are going to look at the first 3 or 4 domains today. And we are going to just see that how much as parents do you really understand that actually these are real domains. These are domains that students are picking up to study, and these are domains that universities in the country and also IITs and the NEET likes are offering these domains already. It's embedded. So how much are you aware that these domains exist? So we'll start. Vikram, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the activity is, Krishna, if you can just go back. So we'll show a Mentimeter, screen. We need your phones. So if you've joined on your phone, I don't know how you'll scan and reply, but if you're on your laptop, you will have to scan that QR code. And what we want you to do is we'll give you a domain. What we would like you to think about is in the first question, you have to think about career pathways. For example, if you're doing AI, data science, and intelligent systems, what do you think this means? What kind of job roles will somebody do at the intersection of AI and data? Right. So we want you to first type in the job roles that come to mind. The second question will be about subjects. For somebody to be able to do that job, what are the subjects they need to study in 11th and 12th? That's what you'll have to reply in the second question. And the third question will really be about problems that you will solve. So, for example, you did AI and data science and you became a data scientist. And subjects you need in school is maybe mathematics and say computer science and say statistics. And then what problem will you solve is maybe the Aadhaar issue of data privacy, for example, or dummy beneficiaries or whatever, right? So that's just an example of how you will answer this. So now we can go to the Mentimeter, Krishna. Will you go to the other screen, Krishna, for this?
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah.
Everyone can scan on the Mentimeter presentation as well. So if you are not able to scan here, that's okay. I'll just go to the screen.
Yes. So the first question, like all of you can see, what are the career pathways in AI, data science, and intelligent systems? We already have that. So data, whoever's typed data scientist is not going to get points, huh? Because I said it already. But think a little bit more deeper of what do these domains mean, and what kind of roles will people be able to do when they club these. Data analyst, data scientist, cybersecurity. Let's be creative. Is everybody able to scan and enter? I hope everybody
About,
can.
about
15
15
people
people
are
have
in.
scanned. So we are
Yeah.
waiting for more responses now.
The system developer software. Okay.
Does everyone know that just pick up your camera, point towards the QR code, and get into the system, please?
Marketing analyst, AI platform designer, financial analyst. Okay, this is good. It's picking up. Medical research. Very interesting one. Okay, financial analyst. Let's go. Let's go. Let's let everybody answer. Somebody saying product manager. Okay. System developer software. Okay, great. I think Krishna, we can go to the next question. Next question.
So do you want to go to the main presentation and show the slide that we've prepared, or do we do the
No.
Mentimeter?
Let's go to the next question. So now all of you've typed in the job role that you think people will be able to do in this core area. Now what we'd like you to do is type in the subjects. That's the next question, right, Krishna, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong? Yes. So
this is
the
the next.
question now is to be able to do these job roles that you typed in, what are the subjects students will require in grades 11th and 12th? Can you write the combination of subjects? Okay, we have mathematics, computer science, data analytics, math, mathematics, economics, physics. Interesting. PCM. There you go. The devil. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, that is truly what biochemistry and social sciences, mathematics, PCM, ethics. Awesome. Robotics. Okay, great. Let's go to the next one. So now you've typed in the subject that is required. Now we want you to think of an institution. an institution to study this career. The courses that you mentioned about, okay, we were thinking about India, but
Yeah, let's look inwards. We've done this in the resource toolkit. We have specially mentioned go local to global.
yes, but it's okay. I mean, people can type in, okay, Hong Kong University, Blaksha. Oh, great. But there's ISC, there's ICER, SNU, University College London, absolutely. Shoka, Delhi University, absolutely. I think these are all places. So now let's go back to our earlier presentation, Krishna, and show them.
I have one more question for this, if
Okay.
everyone can answer. What real world problems do people?
Yes, so this is the final question. So now, when you're thinking of somebody who's becoming a data scientist or product manager, what problem in the world do you think they'll be able to solve? Can you think of a problem, a real world problem that this job designation or this person who's doing this role will be able to solve? And we'll come to why we want you to think about problems. Very quickly, come on. What problems do you think data scientists can solve? Cure for Alzheimer's. So who is this? Any area with lots of data. So we want answers. Sapna, some people are messaging me saying they need to be let in again. Okay, AI-driven, AI-related policy governance. That's an excellent answer. Great. Cure for cancer. We have. This is an optimistic lot. Some Sapna. Hospital management, securing data, defense. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now let's go to that slide, Krishna, if we can.
Sure, I'll just let people in.
Yes. Oh, are you the host also?
Yes.
Oh, Sapna, you're on mute if you're saying something.
Let me be, I've reclaimed host. I'll just continue
Okay.
with that role, okay, Krishna? So you can
Okay.
focus on this.
Yeah,
Krishna, we
Krishna.
can show. Sorry, Vikram. No,
Hmm.
please, over to you.
No, go ahead. Yes, so let's click. So this is really what we wanted you to talk about, what we wanted to tell you about, right? So in this field, which is AI and data science and intelligent systems, you have roles like machine learning engineers, you have computer vision engineers. Does anybody sort of know what is computer vision, or can you give me examples of where computer vision is used? You can use the chat box to tell us. And Venki, you can't answer. I know what you do. So but yes, anyone who's heard of this term computer vision, actually the text already describes, right? Healthcare, yes, GK, we know you saw the answer, right? I mean, it already says healthcare imaging. But really, I think if you've seen those cameras at traffic signal, right? There's no human being that's monitoring that feed. It's really computers. Okay, you did not see. Okay, great. It's the computers which can process images and videos and give you answers, right? So that's computer vision engineers. NLP is natural language processing, which is basically your Alexa that is at home when you speak in Tamil or in Marathi, and it can convert that into computer understandable languages, right? We all know computers only understand binary, zeros and ones, except if you think of quantum computing, which can have 3 dimensions, but we're not going to talk about quantum. So NLP is this technology that, software that converts human languages into computer understandable languages, right? Data scientists, AI researchers, what are the streams that are required? So mathematics and statistics are basically what is required for you to be a great engineer in this field. There are public and private institutions that offer these programs, and we've listed some of them. Let's go to the next one. I think maybe we do only one more.
Yeah. I was just saying, not 4. Let's do another one, and
Yeah.
let's run through the other ones
And
so that.
the other one, let's not do the computation. Achha, okay, fine. Yeah, we
No,
can.
go ahead. We have
No,
the next one.
we can do this one. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Okay,
we
all
have
right.
We have four, so which one do you want to
No, I think this
go on?
one is fine.
This is good enough. Yeah.
The next one
We
was
have
good.
physics plus CS engineering systems as well. Anyone you want to choose?
Let's do the computational
All
sciences.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
computational
Okay.
sciences is good.
I think Vikram, we'll do one more and then let's go through the entire thing. Just do
Sure.
another Mentimeter.
And we also want some time for Q&A for people to ask questions. And looks like a very active audience, Apna. So congratulations on building this community.
Absolutely.
I request everyone to scan this again if they
Yes.
have closed it, and then you can respond.
So let's scan and answer this. So what are the career pathways you think when you hear the term computational sciences, right? Biochemist. Okay, awesome. Genomics, AI model builders, neuroscience, physicists, data scientists. Quite an aware audience, huh? And most of them who are answering, are all career counselors or parents? Because if it is
Hope
the
not ChatGPT users.
if it is the parent community answering, I'm very impressed.
I think today we largely have parents. I see very, very few career counselors today.
Okay, great, great. Awesome. So let's go to the next one. Next question, Krishna. So what are the subjects you think a student will have to pick up to do computational sciences? And I want you to mention the combination of subjects. Yeah, there you go. So we don't want answers like computer. We want you to mention there are two or three subjects that are to be taken together. So what are the two or three that you think will be required for computation? Okay, somebody's written biophysics, chemistry, CS, and math. The question was not list all the science subjects, huh, by the way. I mean, you're supposed to write the like बिचारे बच्चे का सोचो थोड़ा, like the student should be able to pick those combinations. Okay, physics, chemistry, biology, physics and mathematics. We're not getting the answer that we were looking for, by the way. Okay, but this is interesting to know, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, there is one, math and bio and physics. Okay. Best institutions to study computational sciences in India. Let's have answers. Which institutions in India you think offer good programs in computational sciences? ISER, SNU, Shoka, IITs, absolutely. Yes. Any other answers? ISC Bangalore, yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, all answers are correct. Let's go to the next question. I'm sorry we're rushing a little bit, but there's so much to cover, right? And what are the problems that computational sciences can solve? This is the last question. So let's have everybody answer this. What problems do you think computational sciences can solve? And be creative. Think of areas that are not usual. Uh, let's see what comes to mind. Vaccine. What a beautiful answer. Absolutely. Forecasting. And what else? Medicines. Risk. Okay. Organ transplantation. Okay. Poverty fight. Climate change. Nitina, we are definitely getting better answers than when we did it for counselors. I mean, there's something.
Absolutely. So I know, and actually that is what is the real thing is that counselors need to get to this point to actually cater to the questions parents have.
Yes.
That's the more, I think that's why more platforms like Guiding Teens is so important because this is unbiased.
Space science. Awesome. Let's go back to the presentation, Krishna, very quickly. Okay, so when we thought of computational sciences, there were some things so bioinformatics is a field that really combines mathematics and biology and a bit of computing. Computational biology is great. Genomics is just today, imagine this, right? The biggest discovery in the field of biology just happened 25 years ago when we decoded the human genome. We have not even scratched the surface when it comes to genetic engineering. People are working on problems of aging. Can you imagine if you were to solve for aging and live for 200 years and still look beautiful and be healthy and young and fit? There's a documentary that we'll talk about in the future, but they do this on a worm, right, which had a lifespan of 3 weeks, and because of genetic modifications, increase the lifespan by 3 more weeks, and that worm actually lived for 6 weeks. Or say, can you design a baby that has 50% more chances of winning the Olympics? These are questions that scientists are talking about already, right? And this is the field that we're talking about, drug discovery. If you read about, please, if parents have book, pen and paper, write down. There's a company called AlphaFold. Just read about what AlphaFold does. It'll excite you so much about the field of biology, right? And for you to be in computation sciences, you need to study, of course, physics, mathematics, biology. Computational economics is one area, and these are some of the colleges that do that. Let's go to the next slide. So we have 8 such fields that we thought of. And there's one which is physics plus CS plus math. This is basically the deep tech frontier, right, which talks about quantum technology. So when you think of AI, you should also in the same breath think about water, because AI, the data centers requires tons and tons of water to cool it. It's a very big problem. Meta, for example, has a capacity center which is bigger than Manhattan, right? That is a problem with AI. And quantum computing, for example, solves for that kind of computational power, right? It reduces the energy consumption by 1 by 10,000 times. That's how much more energy efficient quantum systems will be. And for you to be able to do something like this, you need physics, mathematics, computing. Let's go to the next one. And Nitina, jump in wherever you feel, so that then there is.
You finish this and then I
Yeah,
will come.
yeah. So there's robotics, hardware tech, again, underwater robotics, aerial robotics, humanoids, huge application areas here because, agriculture, for example, it's just, look at China, look at India, there's no comparison. And, I think robotics should be implemented in things like agriculture, which is just it's not inhumane. It's inhumane for people to be working in the fields for so long in such harsh temperatures. So robotics has huge application. If you looked at the Israel and India, Israel and Iran and the US war, you would have hardly seen soldiers on the ground. You will see everything as robots that the war is fought on. So, that has a lot of application. Warehousing has a lot of application in robotics. And again, the subjects that are required are physics, math, electronics. These are institutions that offer these programs. Let's go to the next one. There's, of course, tech society policy, which is basically somebody already had mentioned ethical AI policymakers or, cybersecurity, digital governance. These are areas, and you need subjects like political science, economics, global politics, and universities like OP Jindal offers combinations of law and technology, for instance, which are very, very good programs. Ashoka offers PPE, which is, again, excellent as a course if you are looking at anything to do in legal studies with AI, digital governance, and those areas. Let's go to the next one. There's a big field of tech, eco, and business. This is an excellent field for all your parents whose kids are looking at courses at the intersection of math and business and economics. They love math, but they don't want to be as, a typical engineer who would do physics or biology or chemistry. Quantitative finance, fintech, being an analyst, being a product manager will require these skills. And you generally need economics, math, business to be able to do these programs. Let's go to the next one. So I think we'll just maybe wait for 2 seconds here if people are taking screenshots, but we'll move forward now because I think it's taking too much time. Next. And finally, human-centered tech, right? Which is basically studying psychology, studying biology, computer science together to go into cognition, neuroscience. If you want to work for Neuralink, which pays you $300,000 as a beginning salary for an engineer and work with Elon Musk, then you should look at biopsychology plus CS plus math. These are highly rigorous programs, by the way. Will require a lot of resilience and dedication and focus, right? Let's go to the next one. So we wanted to just show you, and by the way, this list by no means is all encompassing. This is just a sample, and you can create many more like this. But over to you, Nitina.
Yes, thanks, Vikram. That was really detailed. So, parents, you could unmute, in fact. What do you think psychology plus computer, if you're studying, what career can it lead to? You just have to match the following. You could write in the chat box, you could share here. Psychology plus computer, what do you think it will lead to? Human plus AI interaction. Krishna, can we please? Very good. Literature plus game design. Anybody for literature plus game design?
I've unmuted everybody so they can speak now.
Absolutely. Let's make it interactive. All that we've heard of so far, it's just really good to just understand because data science, computer, statistics, AI, economics and sustainability, math, biology, these are all STEM related subjects, which are, of course, Krishna, keep doing it so that we move ahead. Law plus data science, what does it lead to? Very good. Tech policy analyst. Parents are unmuted, but I don't think parents really. I hope all of you working in organizations where AI policy, etc., are now in place because that's going to be the ask. So a lot of law has to be embedded into layered systems now. Sociology plus statistics. How do you do a predictive analysis in a better way?
This is
Absolutely.
social.
Yes, you were absolutely right. Fine arts plus AI. And now we're left with very less choices.
Generative AI. This is
Hmm.
artist.
Yes. Economics and sustainability.
A circular economy advisor.
Absolutely. Math and psychology. Now it's really less left. So we can. Krishna? Yes. Biology plus entrepreneurship, of course. So excellent. Can we move to the next? Parents, this is absolutely for you, and I'm not going to really say anything. Business, when we were studying, what was it called? CA, right? Now, what is it called? Any guesses, parents? If you have to tell us,
Entrepreneurship.
hmm? Krishna, keep playing it, bache, please. It's called financial analyst. What do you think next generation in another 3, 4 years when they're going to study business, what is it going to be called? Krishna, please put it. Crypto economy advisor. Engineering, what was it called then? What is it called now? Parents? And what will it be called later in another 3, 4 years? And it's even kind of having conversations now. What is it called?
What is the future
Any?
of automation? Smart mobility.
Absolutely. Medicine. Now and next. Our parents are thinking सब answers मिल तो रहे क्या करना है बोल के है ना What I think Vikram talked about when we were discussing about biology, how this is becoming really, really relevant now. Law. Then, now, and next. Parents, you have to get really clear with these terminologies because this is how it's going to be talked about. You can't sound alien. While Google gives you an information, it's also important to stay relevant with your own children to be aware about what's out here. Design. Now, then, next. Of course, psychology. Now, next. Parents, do you think you can connect with this?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
How many of you, if just I could say yes in the chat box, were aware about the next? It's all right. When I started putting this together, I don't think I was. I also, as a college counselor, kept getting equipped with it. Oh, yeah, it could look like this. So it's important that we start looking and understanding the newer terminology. You know, the WhatsApp has a slang, and if today's generation talks about WhatsApp language, I feel sometimes it's an alien. You slay it, right? That's their term. So in our career counseling term, this is how it is. And for parents, it's very important for you to know this. You could
One point I'd like to say here, Nitin, if I may. See,
sure,
it's
please.
okay not to know, right? But what is not okay is to be ignorant about it. I think the idea is to talk to as many people as you can. Many of your kids go to schools which has career counseling offices. There are avenues, a lot of universities do sessions, open sessions on awareness about these careers. So I think information is plenty available. I think the idea is for you to sort of identify what are the strengths and sort of go into that direction,
I'll,
read a little bit more.
I'll chip in a bit, Vikram. A lot of parents talk only to each other. And then all of them have that same understanding. So I've had parents come in and say, no, but my friend who's a banker has said this course is useless, and so I think talking to younger people and the people who are in the newer scope of things is also important, just not enough to talk to people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we are also, yes, Nitina, go ahead.
Let's just quickly finish this. Parents, you'll have lots of quick screenshots to share. Vikram, parents today, and I'm sure Vikram will do a very quick job in this more than me, but just to share with you that these are things that you must pick up to read and ensure that your child is also reading and engaging with you. So we've put this into 4 different baskets for you, and there are going to be some subscriptions as well. So please subscribe for those things that we request you to do. Over to you, Vikram. Quickly, you'll.
And we're not getting a cut from any of them. So this is just, a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
A
It's the
lot.
it, yeah. Thank you for mentioning that, Vikram. This is just put together for the best so that you feel stimulated and are aware about it. That's the whole idea.
And the idea is, I was talking to somebody who said in India we love to give opinions. Even if we don't know, we want to have an opinion on everything, right? WhatsApp University is very popular. So I think we've put together some credible sources that you should look at to get information. There is also a statistic, by the way, which says 60% of future predictions in all of these reports are not true. So that's also there. But it just is, these are directional for you, right? And use them as they are. So understanding about future, you should look at World Economic Forum, McKinsey. LinkedIn is the biggest platform now for high paying roles. Good companies recruit through LinkedIn, and they publish lots of reports. All right.
Next. This is really important.
Yes, the Ken, for example, if those of you who
Yes.
want long form articles.
Yeah. The HBRs, I'm sure you all who are all working must be reading it. The Fast Company, and also ONET is good just to understand that, what we understand as KRAs and what we understand as job roles. Are we able to deconstruct it or what we assume they'll be? So a good way to just get some understanding about it. And someone who's interested in reading, these are good reads. Next, please. This, I'm sure if there would have been students today, Krishna helped us put this together as a student. He really uses these tools, which also will, parents, if you are here today, will also be a great way for you to break that barrier with your own child. So please use these tools to engage with them. And there'll be a lot of good resource and good things that you'll get really an understanding of. Next.
I think there's also a lot of kids who sort of don't, I don't know how, but they don't like to read.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right thing to do, but many of them are visual learners. There are also ways in which you can sort of, Explained is one of my favorite shows on Netflix, which has these 20-minute episodes, really very well put together, great data, great narration, puts things in context for you. One of the episodes that you must watch today on Netflix is called Designer DNA, which is about genetic engineering, and it talks about what is ethical genetic engineering and how should you, like it's amazing, right? Abstract, Cosmos, all good platforms, video platforms that uses storytelling and data to share statistics. Next. In deep science or emerging tech, I think MIT review is really, really fantastic. It tells you the now of technology, right? And it's beautiful panel discussions. Oh my God! Like one of them I was reading, there was a biotechnologist, there was a roboticist, and they were talking about things you've not heard of. And it was, I think, a TED talk. I wish I had that video link, but really cool stuff for you to know what's happening. Next. Yes, India focused. Macro trends in India, you get your story, NSDC, Ministry of Education. A lot of the reports come out. They are long. Generally, they run into hundreds of pages, but use maybe a tool to sort of get you a summary or something like that. So be smart about how you read these reports. Next. Mithuna?
Yeah, very important. Please, it's also just, I'm sure you're representing and, kind of just children are going to a certain school. So it's just important to also, if suppose your child has thought about going to a particular university, connect with the school to meet with the alumni. Just gives child some kind of context. Do I really want to think about this place or not think about it? And then also, it's very important, parents, to bust your own myths. Sometimes what we're trying to do is we're also trying to fulfill our aspirations through our children. Not a bad idea, but that's not the real practical way to live through it. So please talk to more people, build clarity, get understanding. So please do that. And it's very important to also upskill yourself. There you parents have to sit in a seat of unlearning, then learning, and then kind of relearning it with your child. So it's very important. Look at it from that space. And it sounds very fancy about looking at, okay, I would really want my child to go abroad. Look at that. It's also first really good to start from a place of unknown and then get to a space of unknown. So be practical, look at universities around, take them for a trip, let them have a look, understand what is the Indian context of many things, and then start building on not here then where. It's very difficult to get there and then come to this. It's good from someone to start from here and then think about, okay, I can get here, this is my also a place I can get to. Next, please. We just give, as school teachers, educators, both Sapna, Ramya, Vikram, we have a very bad habit of giving homework to parents. It's like, just 6 habits. I would not want to read it. But if you could just develop these 6 habits as a high school parent, trust me, you will be, after a year, you'll be like, wow, wish someone could have told this to me earlier. So please, we've given you enough material. So a weekly cool find, children will say, wow, that's really cool, right? You have to break that barrier with them. But, also, it's also very, very important for you to identify and know your child's world. So once a week, when your child is so focused, they lose track of time. Just it's very important that if in a simpler word, and Vikram, if you like to add, is just know your child's world. Their world is very different from where we are. We think we know, but we don't know. So, Vikram, if anything you would like to add.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think many times we get parents who say, "Sir, I don't know." I think observation, reflection, those noticing those little trends is important. You can help them. They don't need sometimes a career counselor. They need a parent, right? I mean, I get students who says, "I want to do psychology because I watch CID." Those kinds of answers will not come if at home there are conversations that are had about why you want to do something, right? So I think
So also point 3 is really important because Vikram's daughter is really young, so he still have to sit in that seat of a high school parent. But both Sapna and I have had high school, children on our own, and it's very important to, you'll realize, parents, we might be really educated and very well received in our area of work, but we are irrelevant to our own children sometimes. It's very important in your own circle, find children, find people who can inspire them, give them their aha moment. You will have to identify those set. It takes a village to take the child to college, and start identifying that village, and the village can keep changing. Those people, set of people, can keep changing depending on what is the curiosity level of your child. Very important skill hunting, financial literacy, coping mechanisms, understanding oneself. When a child goes to college, the child has to manage themselves for 24 hours on their own, where they have to look at emotional health. They You will not be there to look after them, so you have to equip that they are well trained and their coping mechanisms are in place. So please inculcate all of that. The big picture check-in, very important. Are we mapping them well? Are we deviating? Are we diluting? Are we pushing them too much? And very important to keep reading the World Economic Forum, the future-proof reality. So that's really important.
I think
Next,
that's,
please.
yeah, do we
Sorry,
have,
Vic.
yeah. Okay, no.
This is just not it's not beyond JEE, NEET, etc. This is a worksheet that you should really, parents, sit down and do with your own child at home. In fact, I would say you do it, sit on two tables, one your child fills it and one you fill it today. See where the synergy converges. You could be on actually two different thought process at all. Or you could be somewhere, there'll be some points that will be there. It's very important to look at it. Please be practical. Next, please. This also, the two of you, parent and student, should do it together on two different tables. See exactly where your thought process and the child thought process comes together. And if it doesn't, then you really need to go back to our resource toolkit and explore a lot more.
And here when you say how much JE score you expect if the child writes 85 and you write 99, please don't go with a cane and start hounding to say abhi to kal se you have to study for 10 hours. That's not the intention of this activity, right? It's really for you to have a very open, honest conversation. This is a very powerful tool if done well. Can lead to a lot of happiness, I feel.
Vikram, we are 4 minutes over. I think we've crossed the
Yes.
time. Parents are also. So thank you. We are 4 minutes over, but I thought very important.
Thank you so much,
Yours.
Vikram and Nitina. That was wonderful. Anybody has any questions? We'll do a quick round of questions. And of course, that is our guiding teen community. Anybody who's not there on it yet would like to join, please join. As we say, there's no sale, no money, nothing involved there. It's basically bringing more and more conversations like this, and so that parents are better informed. One or two things that I wanted to talk about when Vikram and Nitina were talking. I've had parents say, मेरा बच्चा chemistry पढ़ के क्या करेगा? The child doesn't want to do engineering, doesn't want to do PCM, but is very, very happy doing chemistry. Let them. There is enough scope out there for a particular subject with whatever combination. So please, I think because when we grew up and when we were finding careers, there were very limited careers in pure sciences, in specific subjects, in BSc kind of degrees, but that's no longer true at all. Most of the programs that Vikram and Nitina showed you, there are many ways of going into those with a BSc degree into any one subject. Right, so let's keep that in mind. There is much more that we could have told you, but today, I mean, I think we're over time already. If anybody has any questions, we'd love to hear it. Yeah, thank you, Reggie, for being here. Any questions? We'll wait for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
question. Should
Yeah.
I put it on the
Yes,
chat
please.
or I can ask it?
No, you can just ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in sometime in the beginning, you spoke about a plan C, plan D, and just a very silly question. Don't you think sometimes having a C and a D also
Mm.
kinds of defocuses the child from pushing for an A and a B? Of course, a plan B is a must. I'm not at all saying that there should not be a plan B.
Yeah.
But having so many backup plans, isn't it
I
counterproductive?
have a story about this. So before Nitin, I literally had this issue in a classroom. So I'm taking this session with my grade 11th, okay? And this kid says, okay, I want to do, I'm going to take an NDA exam. And I'm like, you don't have math. He's saying, but I'm still going to do the NDA exam. I said, but what else? What are the other? He refused. He's saying, no, you're demotivated. If I think of anything else, I'm going to be demotivated. I'm going to look like Arjun ka aak into that machli ka aak like Arjun's bow. This is the only aim that I have. So that's the question, right? Nitina and Vikram, to you.
No,
How do you
sorry.
handle?
No. I didn't mean that that's the question. I said plan B is good,
No,
but
I
C,
hear
D,
you.
having too many backup plans is my question.
No, I
I hear
totally
you.
get it. Yeah.
I hear
That's the other
you.
extreme. Yeah.
I totally hear you, Mr. Suman, but my only because over a decade and more that I've done college counseling, and with a lot of things that have really changed, and are continuing to change. If you feel, and while we speak in sessions about a C or a D plan, it's not, it's a, career counseling is not about, having a same trajectory for each. If you think that in your home environment, a plan A and maximum a plan B would work, stick to it. But my only big but to parents that comes all the time is the bigger one in the relationship between the child and the you as you. So in your mind, you should have a mental mind map of if these two doesn't happen, what is my C and D plan for my child? Because the way the world is, when COVID happened, I remember all our children who had applied abroad, some of them still went because they were still, children who had picked up engineering, and engineering needs labs outside the country, and the students weren't going. But for sitting here in India, they were paying the tuition fee. Many dropped off because all of these children had a plan C in mind and plan B. So while we say this, we are saying it because we look at inclusivity when we're looking at an entire cohort. We're looking also at equity. We're looking at many things. But if at your home environment you feel if your child is deeply focused and a plan B would be the maximum, please stick to that. But just make a mental mind map in your own head to say, I still have a plan C in case something really happens and the child has to get to that.
And
Just
to add to Nitina's point, it also depends on how competitive your plan A and plan B
Plan
are.
B.
absolutely,
If your
absolutely.
plan A and
Absolutely.
plan B are like 1% chance of getting in, then you definitely should have a plan C because, the world, anything can go wrong. If your plan B already is like a 30% chance of success or 40% chance of success, then probably you're comfortable taking it. So it is a situation to situation thing.
Absolutely.
uh, just I think be aware. The other thing I see is I want my child to be an IS officer. And now from grade 10th, I'm working towards that. Now, I think that is a very too long term a frame to think about. Right. So even your plans have to be very, specific. They have to be realistic. They have to make sense in the now and the present. They can't always be too many years down the line plans.
Also,
Um,
burnout is for real.
yeah.
I have really seen children who stay really focused for years and suddenly they'll have a huge bubble burnout. I'm just saying, as Sapna is saying, absolutely, if the focus is there, mind clarity is there, everything is okay, just stick to plan B. But still, in your own mind as a parent, have a plan C mental mind
There
map
are
for
a
sure.
couple of questions, Nitina and Vikram.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sudhi wants to know Math AI HL is okay. Sorry, the question was, has it already been answered? About is it okay to have biochem? Okay, for
Uh,
my son who's interested in AI field, does he need MPCHL at IB, DP, or can he swap? So, math, physics, chemistry, or can he swap out chemistry with economics or business?
Can I come in here, Sapna?
Yes,
It
of
is
course.
really important that you please, though it is really important that you please check each university website to check for requirements of courses. Because in the past 2 years, a lot of universities are reinventing their courses and lot new courses have come in. While anything which is related to STEM, you would need your HL for sure. But UK, US, and now it's not about the big four, it's about the big 14. And every university currently has a certain different layered understanding of what their ask is. I would rather say, and this is my suggestion to parents who are listening to me right now, is start subscribing to the university newsletters that your children are aspiring to get to, and create a separate email ID where you're only getting these, and start being in touch with the university so that you keep getting clarity. And I currently don't know which grade, I'm sure it's DP1 or DP2, but ensure that eligibility component when you're looking at courses, be a little more conventional in that approach, so that when the child is ready to apply, you're not missing out on anything. But do please read the university website, is my humble submission. In fact, Sapna, it will be a great idea to do a session, curate a session on how to do research university websites,
Right.
because
Broadly speaking, since Nitin has brought it up, in UK you can find very clear what subjects they require for almost every program on the university website. In US, it's a little more broader. By and large, for computational science, I think the question was, in the US, and Nitin, you will correct me, math would be the main, and then if it's depends on what the program is, as Nitin said. In some places, physics would be required. In most places, math would be that math or physics, and math and physics would be the requirement. But again, as Nitin said, you have to check, and it is country by country, university by university, program by program. So, and your career counselor, if you have one in the school, would be a great place also to help you with this. There's a question by Sumit. My daughter's in 8. She doesn't like any subject, more or less. She's fine with everything. How to find out her passion?
Um, interesting question. And this will encompass not just one answer, but three or four relevant parts. One is, please, I'm just indicating, is like, of course, do get a psychometric assessment, a strong one. Second, do meet up with each of her subject teachers to understand what is her deep rooted interest. That scholastic feedback, psychometric assessment. Ensure that you're putting her in different experiences of each subject through internships, job shadowing, online courses, some competitive challenges, so that she gets an understanding. Fourth, make her meet inspiring people of places that she likes. I'll give you an example. Sometimes children really get fancy with a lot of careers, but when they get to meet someone who's doing that job, they realize it wasn't meant for me. And fifth, create like a little capstone project around, if suppose she's getting confused between two or three subjects, with help of her teachers, create like a little capstone project where she's able to create something from 0 to 1. And if she really can take that through, you will see that she's deeply interested or not. Because I do understand children who are interested in all subjects, and that's largely the problem coming now. Not problem, but children are actually really interested in multiple subjects. So when they're good at all of it, you'll have to you'll have to find a village to get that decision right.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
wouldn't happen overnight.
And sometimes it's okay to be a generalist, especially grade 8. Like, I won't worry too much as long as they're getting enough experience and exposure. Because 8th and ninth is okay if they're still exploring and finding it out. This passion thing also, I think sometimes it's a bit
It's
oversold.
overrated. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, many people don't have a passion till they're in
absolutely.
10th, 11th, 12th. It's fine. As long as they are making the decisions, whenever they have to make a choice, they're making it on the basis of some experiences that they've had, and not just because somebody's telling them something. Um, yeah, we will do a session on how to research in universities. That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, I think we are done with questions. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Nitina and Vikram and Krishna. Thank you for managing everything today. Thank you to all the parents for being here. We look forward to having many more chats with you like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Krishna. Thank you.
Ma'am, are you stopping the recording?
Yeah, yeah.
Vikram is left.